For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Another St. Lucia Labour Party candidate says he too carried water and will be seeking clarification on behalf of temporary teachers on the island. And what next for Mr. Joachim Henry? Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. It is also on Radio Garden as well as TuneIn and NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. As always, please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. Of course, later I'll be hearing from you directly via 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Another St. Lucia Labour Party candidate also carried water. It seems that that is one of the criterion that politicians are using right now for them to be deemed sufficiently qualified to receive the trust of the people of St. Lucia and their votes. Come across as being very humble, from existed or lived in a poor environment at one point in time, and they can identify with the poor man and the poor woman, whether it is in the Mang, whether it is in Forestier or other parts of St. Lucia. But what is always surprising is that those same politicians who have a very humble background, from poor families, sometimes single-parent homes and so on, as soon as they win a seat, they are part of a cabinet, they forget about their background. and they automatically forget about the poor people of this country. All of a sudden, they start to identify not with the hoi polloi, not the ordinary man in the street, but the prominent people. They start to rub shoulders with the merchants of commerce. Those people are involved in big business, the well-to-do, the so-called sophisticated section of our society. Because as is the case, as being said and stated by so many of our budding politicians, that they come from a humble beginning and they carry the water, why when you get into office, you do not ensure that the majority of the people of St. Lucia have access to potable water? In other words, treated water. You come from the Mang, you have to walk on stones, etc. Ensure that we have good roads, because you have been there. But you maintain the status quo, you become a government minister, you do not have sufficient time to spend with your constituents because you have to travel to attend WTO meetings and WHO meetings and ECLAC meetings. You're just too damn busy. So let us hear from Danny Butcher. He has succeeded Dr. Kenny Anthony as the SLP's VA4 South candidate in the upcoming general election. And he appeared on the SLP program Chill and Chat last evening on Hot TV. And the host of the program is Mondy Lewis.
We would have played cricket, not always on the field. We'd play cricket in people's yards. Right. And we would play marbles the right way, and we'd go fishing, and we'd go to the beach. So this was generally my experience raising in the Mang. I'm sure you would have heard stories about having to be carried from the Mang to the main road because after floods, yes, it would be full of mud. These are true stories. I experienced that as well. And I also remember, because of that experience, sometimes my mother would send us to carry stones. You know where the promenade is in Vieux Fort right now? Right. It wasn't always like that. There were lots of stones there. So we used to have to go and carry stones from the promenade and to place it in the Mang so that we can jump from one set of stone to the next to make it to the main road. So that's my experience really growing up in the Mang. But it was also fun times. There were times we would have to go and carry water.
The St. Lucia Labour Party candidate for VA4 South in the upcoming general election, Danny Butcher. The other candidates for the United Workers' Party is Liana Lady Lee Johannes, and we have independent candidate, the rebel APA. And don't forget, very early, NewsSpin endorsed APA as its candidate for VA4 South in the upcoming general election. Who knows, we might just decide to endorse some more candidates as we go along and prepare you for the upcoming general election. We're seeking clarification on behalf of the island's temporary teachers. Because remember, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, political leader of the SLP, has been boasting about something. In August, last month, temporary teachers in St. Lucia received full salaries for the first time, ending the previous month's salary drought. This decision was part of the government's commitment to fairly compensate temporary teachers for their hard work and dedication in the education sector. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Pierre, who emphasized that temporary teachers deserve recognition for their contributions. Stumbled upon a contract that has been issued by the government of St. Lucia to temporary teachers. And I'm just seeking clarification on behalf of those temporary teachers. And we hope we can get that clarification within quick time, at least during the course of this afternoon's NewsSpin program. So the teachers received a letter from the Department or the Ministry of Education dated the 1st of September. And it reads, "The Department of Education, Innovation and Vocational Training wishes to inform you that the Teaching Service Commission by minute dated 25th of July 2025, approved your temporary appointment to the post of Teacher 4 at the St. Lucia TVET Institute School of Innovation and Technology for the period September 1st, 2025 to July 31st, 2026. The terms and conditions of this contract will not vary during the academic year. So the contract is for the period September 1st this year to July 31st of 2026. I imagine by that time the elections would have been called. So we're merely asking the question. We're merely seeking clarification from the Ministry of Education. People in the Ministry of Finance, maybe if you're in a position, you can clarify as well whether those teachers will be subjected to not receiving their August salaries, and whether, if the St. Lucia Labour Party wins the election and if the United Workers Party wins the next poll, they would have to reconsider or consider again whether those temporary teachers will be receiving their full salaries in August of next year. Because something is very strange with this contract. From September the 1st to the 31st of July 2026. And if you give those temporary teachers their August salaries, why not make it standard practice that they receive their August salaries? So then you start a new contract in September. So the contract maybe should run from September the 1st up until the end of August, not the end of July 2026. So we are seeking clarification from the Ministry of Education on this. If you can't provide us with a response today, you could do it tomorrow or on Friday, or you could clarify the issue directly with the temporary teachers. Marcellus backs Steed, another independent candidate seeking to win the Castries North seat. And you have heard him on several occasions, including when he made an appearance a few weeks ago on the DBS program News Maker Live. He tells you that he is a supporter of the SLP. His heart is with the SLP. He subscribes to the ideology of the SLP. He believes that the St. Lucia Labour Party administration over the last 4 years and some months, has done a lot for the people of this country. But his main beef is with the quality of representation that is being provided to the constituents of Castries North. And since there is this constant love affair between the SLP and Mr. Stevenson King, one-time member of the UWP, Prime Minister of St. Lucia during a United Workers' Party administration, he has tried, but in vain, to get the endorsement of the SLP to contest the Castries North seat on an SLP ticket, but to no avail. So he decided to go down the independent route. He was on the NBC program, Zafinu, earlier today, explaining his decision for contesting that seat on an independent ticket.
I looked at the rally. I looked at the rally on Sunday.
We're back to square one. So I have to apologize again that this clip is apparently will not be available. I was hoping that we would have been in a position to play you that clip in its entirety, but we are still apparently experiencing some technical issue with regard to ensuring that our clips are ready to be shared with you, members of the public. But I do apologize for that. Very embarrassing. But in a nutshell, he was saying that if Mr. Stevenson King really believes in the St. Lucia Labour Party, why would he be part of this rally for the launching of the SLP candidate for Castries Southeast? That is Lisa Jarayer, and he is in blue. And he's saying that the red you saw during that rally represents hard work, represents George Charles, former leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And he's saying that he truly does not believe in Mr. Stevenson King, and in particular his stewardship as the MP for Castries North over the last several years with regard to the condition of the sporting facilities in the constituency, also high youth unemployment, among other things. But you can recall, it was just about a little over a week ago that the leader of the SLP and Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre, urged supporters of the SLP to vote for Mr. King and also to vote for Mr. Richard Frederick, two independent candidates representing or contesting Castries North and Castries Central, respectively.
We'll work with our brothers in Castries North. We'll work with our brothers in Castries North because every Labour Party person, every Labour Party supporter must vote for Stevenson King in Castries North. And every Labour Party supporter, although I know where he is, we have so many already, I know where he goes with ours. Every Labour Party supporter in Castries Central must vote for Richard Frederick in Castries Central. Every Labour Party supporter must vote for King and Frederick. Every Labour Party supporter. We'll work with our brothers in Castries North. We'll work with our brothers in Castries North because every Labour Party person, every Labour Party supporter must vote for Stevenson King in Castries North. And every Labour Party supporter, although I know where he is, we have so many already, I know where he goes with ours. Every Labour Party supporter in Castries Central must vote for Richard Frederick in Castries Central. Every Labour Party supporter must vote for King and Frederick. Every Labour Party supporter.
You heard the directive coming from the political leader of the SLP and Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. So if you are a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party, I can only guess that you are facing a dilemma. Whether you want to vote for the patriot, Mr. Stevenson King, or you want to vote for Mr. Marcellus Bax Steed, who believes in the St. Lucia Labour Party, who always wanted to contest the Castries North seat on a St. Lucia Labour Party ticket. Even the last time, the previous election, he wanted to do so, and he's being denied the opportunity to do so again this time around. Love to hear from you, particularly if you are a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party. I heard a number of people urging Mr. Steed to join the King camp because if he were to contest as an independent candidate, he would be splitting the votes and possibly reducing the chances of Mr. King winning that seat and then transferring it to the St. Lucia Labour Party. Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We already have a call online. Let me say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, sir.
Good day, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, good day, Amanda.
Good afternoon.
Tim, I going in a different direction today. I I am just making some inquiries into the matter that was referred for investigation, the assault matter involving Dr. Ernest Hiller and the reporter. I know a lot of people will not want to go down that road, but I'm going down there. I'm going down that road today. Tim, it is my instructions that that matter is fully under investigation, but the file have been sent to the DPP for advice.
Mm-hmm.
I find that very strange because that's a summary matter, Tim. An assault matter is not a matter that normally goes before the DPP for advice. The matters that go before the DPP are normally indictable matters that has to go before the High Court. And those are serious matters such as murder, rape, robbery, and so on. But for a minor misdemeanor matter to be sent to the DPP for advice about what, Tim? And you have to ask yourself, what advice can the DPP give to the officer, the investigator, that the officer does not already have? But there are questions being asked him as to whether that matter could not have been handled by the investigator or advice given to him by his supervisor, which is at the station level. It is my understanding, Tim, that that matter was sent direct from the investigator to the DPP.
Now, in your experience as a former police officer, is this unprecedented? Is this something that usually happens?
No, that is, I tell you, that is very strange, Tim. Because like I say, the DPP don't, I even think the DPP would find it strange that that matter come before him.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, we know the workload of the DPP.
Yeah.
The previous DPPs have said that they are inundated with matters going back 10 years. And if you have seen photos, you have seen it, you have heard it from the former DPP, Mrs. Charles. And you could see the pile of, I have visited that office, I've visited her before. And you could see the pile of case files before her. Much higher than the files that the MP said is getting. Much higher. Police files. And I mean, those matters just ought not to reach the DPP's desk. Now, Tim.
Okay, but this is a case that many members of the public would be interested in, would be following it. Also, I would imagine that by now you'd have heard either from, let's say, the police commissioner, or let's say for the attorney, for the attorney for Eldridge Strauss, no?
Well, I know certain one side I've been speaking, Tim, but trust me, you will not hear anything from the other side. You know, Tim, when you know the system like I know it, and I'm always telling you that, when you know that system well, Tim, remember Ernest Hiller's previous matters before the court. You know the history of those matters. One of the Rovergate case with customs went on for 7 adjournments, Tim, and it was dismissed on the 8th adjournment. That matter was dismissed, not withdrawn from the court, away from the court, not at the court sitting, you know. It was agreed that Rovergate case would have been discontinued out of court. Meaning There was not a sitting of court when that decision was made. And I know that team. I know what I'm talking about. Are we seeing the same program? Are we seeing the same setup, the same makeup with that case? Meanwhile, there is a complainant. There is a complainant who's waiting for action in the matter. Figure if that was the other way around, Tim. Figure if something, the Mr. Onesile was the complainant in the matter. You think that would delay? That's the question the people, the ordinary people have to think of. The ordinary voter who's watching. And because some people are being greased, they will not speak the way I'm speaking there. There is too much greasing going on in this country. And I'm not saying that anybody was greased in that case, at least not yet. At least not yet. But there is too much greasing going on. The court is the tribunal where those matters have to be settled. Put it in the court. And I'm hoping that this time, no person go in the court to ensure no justice is served. That is not a politician's duty to go in the court to ensure nothing is done, because the politicians know nothing about dispensation of law. They're not magistrates, they're not lawyers, most of them. So, especially the Prime Minister. So I am watching that case with wide eyes. Somebody said we need special glasses to look at Onesile. I've already ordered mine. I have special glasses on the way to look at that case and Onesile this time around. It will not be a decision like Rovergate again. Thank you very much, Tim.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see if we have another call. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let's see if it goes through. Let's just take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You on the air?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Tim, I'm calling to express my condemnation and disgust at the abuses of power and the bringing into disrepute of the institution of government by the St. Lucia Labour Party government. I mean, we know of the SLP government's clandestine activities of using government, or rather taxpayers' resources, to advance their campaign and to buy votes. But, for example, we had talk of John Estefan, their candidate for Babono, dishing out vouchers to residents. And one has to ask the question, Tim, if this is so, how does he qualify to be distributing government vouchers? And if they are personal, then I believe that borders on either buying votes, or something. But what disturbed me most this week was what I saw during the cabinet press briefing. After the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, spoke extensively on party-related matters, Lisa Jawair was brought on, to speak on her launching that took place the day before. I mean, what does that have to do with business related to government? That has absolutely nothing to do with government. But she is brought in during a cabinet press briefing to speak on her launching.
I was thinking about the same, along those lines as well, Mr. Leonard Spider Motut, because she was not even introduced as a government senator. She was introduced as the endorsed candidate for the St. Lucia Labour Party. Now, she is there in a capacity as a candidate of the governing SLP, but also she's there at the expense of the state, the taxpayers of the country. So I was thinking, I was thinking along those lines. So it's very interesting that you brought it up this afternoon.
But you see, these are the things, Tim, when we talk about good governance and democracy, demands that the distinction be made between party and state-related matters. And those things must be observed because, we know that Philip J. Pierre and his government keep blurring the lines between party and government as they violate the principles of good governance and, all in a pursuit of political power, at any cost. And these are the things that we must take a stand because these abuses, when go unchallenged, unquestioned, it goes from bad to worse. And before we know it, we would have lost our democracy that we have in this country, Yeah. And I just wanted to make a comment on a matter you raised earlier with regard to the situation in Castries North. And,
yes.
I heard you play the clip where the Prime Minister is asking Labour supporters to vote for Stephenson King. He said, my warning to them, they better be very careful because at one time, UWP supporters went and voted for King as a patriot, and what they expected, what they thought was not the outcome. How do they know where King will try to throw his weight this time around if perchance he happens to win the election? That's the question I'm asking because it is my information, Tim, that there are some UWPs speaking to Stephenson King about if God forbid, it happens that he wins, that he throws his weight with the UWP. Now, I'm telling you personally, I am not in support of that. I don't deal with people who are that treacherous and unprincipled. But he is a different case. We know that he will do anything for power and to position himself in an advantageous way. So how do they know where he's going to throw his weight? Because this is a guy you cannot trust. Okay, and I'm hoping the UWP will not accede to any request on his part. But there are UWPs talking to him about that. But I'm hoping that no UWP will vote for Stephenson King, knowing that he cannot be trusted. And I say to the SLPs, if you think he can be trusted, then it's up to you. But it's interesting, Tim, that you mentioned the independent Labour candidate, Marcellus Steed, who is in the race. Let's see what happens. I think these are very interesting times.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from me. And NewsSpinner says here, I won't be surprised if Joachim is given a senator's position when SLP is in the opposition next year. Commentary reads, playing with the emotions of the poorest of the poor. NewsSpinner says, is carrying water as a child a criterion for becoming an SLP candidate? Another commentary reads, and the fools who quarrel and curse at each other remain hungry and poor while they live the good life. Someone says there's sad reality, but it's proven to work. That's why we as voters need to see beyond the sweet talks of politicians. A commentary reads, who removed all public standpipes in his constituency? When asked why, his response was that the people from Shantytown are too lazy. A NewsSpinner says, Danny, you succeeded the former Prime Minister and representative of Year 4 South for 28 long years. He kept the South in the chokehold for his entire time. How do you intend on moving the needle to develop the South when KDA had the optimal position to elevate the South and did nothing? Another commentary reads, all of a sudden they want to soften their image and talk about the kind of life they had growing up. But ask any of these who made it to the top, how many people have they helped to get to the top too? Another commentary reads, the same people who call themselves, some of those people who so-called have made it to the top have turned down their noses on people who are trying to. Someone says, what a shame, just let them run. Then if you are asking people to vote for them, you see it's this deceitful and manipulative ways of the SLP I cannot stand. Shake my head. A NewsSpinner says they are independent candidates, but the Prime Minister is asking St. Lucians to vote for them while they are seated in his cabinets. I swear the jokes write themselves. A commentator says, this is another issue we have regardless of what political organization forms a government. Our judicial system as it stands isn't functioning as it should. A commentator says, will this overpriced, oversized halls of justice be the answer to our judicial system issues? And the commentator says, absolute power corrupts absolutely. There is and should always be a difference between governance and campaigning. The two should never be mixed.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good day, Mr. Poleon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good day, sir.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
And good day to Amanda.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Poleon, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia has been untruthful to the people of this country, and it continues to be that way. I want to show you 3 points to prove what I'm saying, to see how this Prime Minister has not been telling the truth and is not being honest. I've always said he's not being an honest person. The Prime Minister said, leading up to election, that in less than 100 days, anybody, they're talking about tax refund, that anybody who has less than $5,000, he would be paying them their monies within 100 days. It's over 1,500 days, and the Prime Minister has not said anything about it. He also said that in every household in St. Lucia, if he won the election, there would be a university graduate. That has not happened. He's not said anything about it. He also said
but
that...
I think on that second point, on that second point, you have to give him some credit. I think it's work in progress. I don't think he said that he would have done it within the 5-year period.
No. Nobody's guaranteed anything beyond 5 years. So anything he would have promised, he's promising it within the 5 years. Are you with me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I am not giving him any years to do that. He said that he would be doing. He only has 5 years. The third thing he said that is every civil servant would be paid up to $4,000 or less, would not be paying taxes. And the gentleman has not honored these 3 promises. He has no excuses because this guy has collected millions upon millions of dollars in CIP and under-table deals that we don't even know about.
No, let's not
so
talk about
No,
hold on. I have to
Okay.
interject there, sir. We don't know about what you call under-table deals.
Excellent.
If we can't prove it, let's not say it. Yeah?
Okay, I minus this one.
Yeah.
I drop this one. Okay, so he has gotten millions of dollars in CIP monies that cannot be accounted for, and I do believe he has no excuses why he could not have executed those programs. Yet, the gentleman is now again is proposing that should he be elected again in a second term, every preschool child in St. Lucia will get free education. Why should we trust this gentleman who has not lived up to 3 promises of similar nature, or almost similar nature, at least one of them? He has not lived up to his promise. He has not told us why he could not have done those things. He chose not to tell us, and now he's adding another promise. I don't understand. So I am saying to the people of St. Lucia, go back, look into the gentleman's manifesto. If the guy would have at least explained to the people of St. Lucia, I made some promises. I was unable to keep those promises based on XYZ. He's not done that. He continues to make more promises. I do not want to call the gentleman a liar because this is not a nice thing to do, but I believe this guy is a very, very dishonest Prime Minister. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, let me ask, who mobilizing Castries North supporters for the various launches of the SLP? It's certainly not Stevenson King. So basically, Labour has abandoned those people. I think that will come back to bite Labour in the butt. Another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, Wesley.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon. Last night I was home resting, and something came to my mind. And when I wake up this morning, the exact same thing in my mind. And I would like to share it. If it was not for you, Timothy, Guy Joseph, and Alan Chasney, and former Dubois, qui ça nous connaît à ce qui ça a fait un pays ici? You all deserve credit for that, Timothy, especially you. You deserve a lot of credit for that. Why? Because I don't believe, I've heard you say that you don't support no party, I don't know. But what you're doing there, it's for the general public. It's not for any political party. And last night I was home and I said, Monsieur, c'est pas Timothy Poleon, Guy Joseph, avec Dubois longtemps. At a lesser extent, the former Prime Minister I'll just say, wow, what we going to know taking place in St. Lucia? How are you going to know things that are happening in St. Lucia? So I said that I'll have to share that. And I pray for guidance for you, especially, that God going to protect you. And all the rest. In fact, everybody, we are human beings. We do make mistakes. But generally speaking, I pray that God will guide you in what you do. Because I know a lot of people don't like you. And the last time...
Why, caller? I don't step on an ant, you know. And even if I do, it won't die.
Even though, but the other thing I want to say again, Timothy, I heard the Prime Minister was cautioning Wade Girard. And that is the first time I've been following politics from the 80s. That is the first time I have heard a Prime Minister cautioning a sitting MP. Make sure you win your seat. Make sure that you have a job to do. Was it under Prime Minister's intention to replace Wade Girard? I'm just asking a question. And maybe when Girard pleaded with him, no, give me a second chance. That is why he's put him in a position. You must win the seat. You must do that. What is going on in this country? I don't understand. First time I heard that from a Prime Minister cautioning an MP, you have to win your seat. Wow. St. Lucia is in deep trouble, you know, Timothy. Deep trouble. Things are not real in St. Lucia. I can say that with no water in my mouth today. The 2025, St. Lucia is not a real place. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if we have any of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says with regard to the Eldridge Charles matter, this is unheard of. Matters of this nature most times compromise the investigator, and if needs be, advice is sought from the officer in charge of the station of the department. What is even more strange is that the investigator himself is in charge of the department. Makes no sense. That is according to a WhatsApp message. Another WhatsApp message, somebody says there, my question is, why would PJP ask all Labour supporters to vote for King and RF and not accept them as Labour candidates? Is it because RF and King know that the Labour Party is not a good party to represent the country and they refuse to totally affiliate themselves with the party, or they are in limbo, or the Labour Party does not want to accept them as its representatives? Some more WhatsApp messages. Somebody says, okay, I think I've read this one. I read this one earlier on. Okay, WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, I found that strange too. She's not a minister, so why was she there at a cabinet press briefing? At the briefing, they just introduced her as the recently launched candidate. Of course, referring there to Lisa Jawayer. It's not worth laughing. It's something that's very serious. When I watched the press briefing and I saw the lady there, at the podium, either it's the lectern or the podium, I was asking in what capacity she would have been there. Because, I mean, you're talking about this is being done at the expense of the state. Electricity, you have security, you have the PR personnel introducing her, etc. But she's being introduced as a candidate of the St. Lucia Labour Party. The first question I would ask her is, I mean, why would you attend that particular press briefing when you are not a government minister, Miss Lisa Jawayer? That's the first question I've asked her. But that question was not posed to her. But again, if you're sensible, if you really want to put country before party, whether you're a supporter of the SLP or the UWP, that too would have astounded you. And you would want some kind of clarification or explanation as to why a governing party's candidate would be attending the press briefing by the government of St. Lucia. Very, very strange. 4522979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Tim, and good afternoon, Amanda.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, last night I listened and I watched Monday Lewis's show, Chill and Chat, with Monday Lewis, and where she interviewed the SLP endorsed candidate for Beaufort South, Danny Butcher. A couple things stuck with me, which in my view is tantamount to Danny Butcher throwing his mentor, Dr. Kenny, under the bus. He said that we have a high level of excellent human resource in Beaufort South, which is my constituency, and that we are ripe for economic and social takeoff. Now, Tim, in a previous life, I worked in the airline aviation industry. And when I hear phrases like takeoff, it conjures up an image of an aircraft which has taxied away from the parking apron. It's waiting at the end of the runway, fully loaded with passengers, cargo, and all the necessary flight checks has been done. And you finally get clearance from the control tower to take off. But what Danny Butcher told us last night, that none of these preparations were done by Dr. Anthony in the 28 years that he has been representing us in Beaufort South. And let us not forget that he was Minister of Finance and Prime Minister for at least 3 of those terms. In my estimation, Tim, Beaufort South should not have taken off just yesterday. Beaufort South should not just be ready for takeoff. We should have taken off a long, long time ago. And that is an indictment on the stewardship of Dr. Anthony by his protege, Danny Butcher. He also said, Tim, that one of his top priorities, Danny Butcher, if he were to become the MP, would be the ownership of land in Beaufort South. He said that acres and acres of our land was sold to foreigners and must be returned to the rightful owners. Although he did not specify which land he was referring to, let me remind Danny Butcher that Dr. Anthony's most loyal base in Beaufort South is in the Bruceville. You go back and check the history of elections in Beaufort South. Dr. Anthony, he rules that rules down there. And after 28 years as a district rep and an attorney at law, he has failed to regularize the land for people who live in Bruceville. So when Danny Butcher is talking about regularizing land, he needs to question Dr. Anthony as to why he has not done so. And you see, both of us in Beaufort South, we know who have studied Dr. Anthony very well. Dr. Anthony doesn't like anybody to do better than him. Okay? This is why both Augustus Cady and Trisha Lionel would have been better representatives, SLP representatives, than Danny Butcher. And Dr. Anthony is aware of that fact. And here's the reason why he handpicked and he threatened the leadership of the Labour Party to pick Danny Butcher. Because I am sure that both Trisha Lionel and Augustus Cady will do a better job than Danny Butcher. Now, lastly, Tim, when it comes to infrastructural development, Danny Butcher said that Dr. Anthony did an excellent job in creating the foundation, but he did not give any examples. But on the other hand, he's saying that Beaufort wants a sporting city, like a stadium. We need a high-performance center. We need a children's park. We need an administrative building. We need a library, entertainment center, job creation, both clerical and manual. So where is the foundation that Dr. Anthony laid down? It's oxymoronic in what he said. But the people of Beaufort South, I think we have a choice this time to vote out, because you cannot separate Danny Butcher from Dr. Anthony. The two They are joined at the hip. And I think this time, people of Beaufort South needs to wake up and give the United Workers' Party a chance to do better. That is my contribution for today.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Still to come, you'll be hearing from the first deputy political leader of the UWP. And the word is context. And also, coming out on the broadcast, somebody has made a suggestion as to what will cause the St. Lucia Labour Party administration to take the security of the nation's people seriously. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Got travel plans? Don't let paperwork slow you down. The briefcase is making applications for passports and visas faster, easier, and stress-free. VA4 and Environs, we are here to serve you. Whether it's your first passport or renewal, let us do it for you. The briefcase also assists with applications for police records, U.S. visa applications, ETA for Canada and UK, both certificates and business registration, and more. This coming Saturday, 28th of September, come see us, meaning the briefcase, upstairs Chanel's Plaza, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or call 718-8624, 718-8624, or 713-7503, 713-7503 to book. The main office of the briefcase is on High Street, Castries, opposite the Electoral Department. Opened Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LootSelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select.
At Flow, loyalty pays back. Big time. That's why we're rewarding our customers with $400 in vouchers. That's like 6 months off your mobile bill, back in your pocket. Simply add mobile to your current home internet plan and claim your $400 in rewards today. At Flow, loyalty pays back. That's how we keep your rhythm flowing.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Head into college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
Your favorite event of the year is back. Project Chocolat presents Souk of Blood, the ultimate all-white experience featuring Ola Tunjay.
In the engine room, we go jam instead.
Umpa.
Press off your one drop.
Backed up by TYP.
I want to.
To Soufre, Saturday, October 4th, Souk of Blood. Also featuring Sir Lancelot, Hollywood HP, DJ Shocking, and hosted by MC Dornaville. Regular tickets $120. All inclusive VIP $350. Very limited, no door sales. Available at the Cell Island Wide, Mambo's Bar in Soufre, and ForCircusTickets.com. Souk of Blood. Saturday, October 4th, from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Remember the dress code, all white.
Everybody! You asked and we listened. If you missed it, we're bringing back the Quartz Mega 3-hour flash sale. This Thursday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only. Enjoy a massive 40% off store-wide on credit purchases and 15% off on cash purchases. 3 hours, one chance, huge savings you can't afford to miss. This Thursday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. sharp. Terms and conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. And somebody says to Wasco, and that is via the chat room on YouTube, Tim, tell Wasco to send the water balloter, please. I have clothes to wash. So over to you, Wasco. Please provide the people over at Balata with some potable water. They need it in one case somebody wants to wash their clothes. Good afternoon to you again, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Tim, a few comments from earlier NewsSpin says the SLP government has been very sloppy in managing government business for the people of the country and their party politics. A commentary reads, that's why the country is upside down. They do not know or observe protocol. Disrespectful. A NewsSpinner says Snake is campaigning as an independent candidate trying to fool the fools. Another commentary reads, on Sunday, Mr. Butcher was interviewed and was asked about him campaigning in VA4, and to my surprise, Mr. Butcher said that basically he does not have to campaign because all the people of VA4 can see the work and the development done by the SLP in VA4. And I was thinking, isn't the lack of word and development is what the people of the lack of work, and development is what the people of VA4 campaigning about. These people are delusional, and believe that they can fool everyone and just riding on the SLP strongholds for the win without doing any meaningful work. It seems like VA4 will be in for another 28 years of no development. Someone says that we should know who the people are asking King to come back. What kind of politics is going on in this country? A commentary reads, I'll never vote for King, nearly 20 years, and up to now he can't finish the park in Kawili. What a lazy waste. A NewsSpinner says, that's it, caller. Let's give Team his credit for keeping his talk show informative and an instrument for the general population to express themselves. Bravo, Team. Another commentary reads, if a man has fooled you once, it is quite possible that he will try to fool you again. So it is your responsibility to ensure that it does not happen. A commentary reads, Team, I do not know why you are surprised about the contracts for the temp teachers. That's the style of PJP and the SLP, T-boutique and small deals with expiry dates after the proposed election dates. A NewsSpinner says, for example, the VAT removal on food items, the gas prices, and all the handouts given, the man is basically buying votes, and after the election, everything goes back up. That's how it is done, and that's how you care about people and putting them first. But I have one question for the voters. After universal healthcare with free meds and tests, what do we, the people, do after being diagnosed with an illness? I'm voting for health insurance and 2.5% VAT removal. That's it. The code is yellow, not red. Someone says their SLP never ceases to feel first of just about everything beyond our imagination. A commentary reads, thank you all. The state of Year 4 South is an indictment against Kenny Anthony. That's it. Speak it out, because even Tim, to my utter bewilderment and frustration, insists on classifying him as one of the best prime ministers we've had. That could never be. A few comments here on YouTube. It reads, just imagine how the people will breathe a sigh of relief when the level of crime is reduced. Another comment, it reads, it's called protecting the victory we are paying for our gullibility. That's it from me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Somebody says that via WhatsApp, if Lisa was a candidate of a difference, she should have rejected the offer to speak at the government press briefing in the capacity of a political candidate. These new young candidates are conformists. And now, putting something into context, here is the first deputy political leader of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph.
The pastors and the priests, you all know what's going on. The bloodshed in this country is not just criminal activity, it's payment for the rituals of the St. Lucia Labour Party. It is voodoo practices, it is rituals, and blood must flow in this country. Evil is taking over this land. We are under a cloud of darkness.
Provided you with some context. The first deputy political leader of the UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph. So yesterday, somebody called from the diaspora, and the person suggested that if you do a particular thing, then the St. Lucia Labour Party government ministers will get it and will act swiftly to bring the nation's crime problem under some control.
I have a simple solution to curb the crime situation in this country. The citizens of this country should ask for or call for demonstration, whichever party, or the UWP party, to have the minister's security guards taken away from them. Let them roam the streets like we do, in fear. And I guarantee you, Tim, that you'll see a change in the crime situation. Because you see, these ministers, they've been protected. They have their bodyguards. So they don't worry about our security. Unless you take away the bodyguards from these ministers and leave them open like us, they will understand what it is to live in fear, okay, of the criminals. But unless we ask as a people to take away the bodyguards, they will never understand what we are going through. We have to make them feel what we are feeling.
Just there from a NewsSpin caller, he called the broadcast yesterday. Let's see, there's somebody says there via WhatsApp, just trying to access it, says that Tim tell the Prime Minister that St. Jude will not be ready this year. It will be ready late next year. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim, and good afternoon, Amanda. How
Hi.
you doing?
Good afternoon to you, call. I'm okay.
Good afternoon, call. I'm fine, thank you.
Tim, I want to speak on this Eldridge Child situation, the assault matter. Tim, you see why people lack confidence in the justice system? And like the very first caller indicated, had the shoe been on the other foot, whoever possibly would have assaulted Ernest Healy would have been arrested and charged by now. Like the first caller said, I find it passing strange. Why would a matter like that be sent to the DPP? There's no reason why the matter should have been sent to the DPP. What should have happened, and remember, Tim, and your listeners, Ernest Healy lied to the people of St. Lucia. He said he never pushed the young lady.
Okay, let's not say that anybody has lied in a matter that is before the courts, caller. The court will prove whether anybody lied or not, and also prove their guilt or innocence. Let's not there be a rush to judgment on that particular matter, sir. There's no
Okay,
need
so
for
let me
that.
just say he was not economical with the truth.
No.
I'm using my. Okay, so let me just move on.
Caller, this is
Then
not a court, and we cannot prove anything. We beyond the shadow of a doubt and determine that somebody lied or not in this particular matter. We don't have the evidence before us to concretely prove that, sir.
Okay, well, I'll move on, Tim. And what we saw after is what is even more scarier. You had Claudius Francis, the Speaker of the House, making pronouncements, public comments on the matter, and even saying to the fact that, if the young lady was wasting the police time, and that if when the video comes out, she should be arrested and charged. You remember that? Mm-hmm. That was on news. I think DBS brought that newscast, aired that news broadcast. Only to find out a video was, the video came out, the real footage, and we saw what we saw. I'll leave it there because you said the matter is before the court. We do not want to prejudice the matter. But the point I'm making, Tim, is that is why they have people, young men at Bodily, for over 10, 15, 20 years and cannot get the cases heard. Innocent till proven guilty. Because they do not seem to have the stature and they do not seem to have the connections. But when it's certain people in the society, like government ministers, there's a special kind of justice for them. What happened to Eldridge Charles is very unfortunate. And what we see happening to this case, we have to pay close attention because it cannot be right. And you see, like Rick said, we have to put on special glasses when it comes to Ernest Seeley. Because the history will show us with Rovergate, the history will show us with our CIP, where Ernest Seeley continues to disrespect us, do not account for our $1.4 billion that has vanished. And you had his stint at West Indies cricket. It's just not strange that everywhere Ernest Seeley finds himself in is a scandal, is a problem. And we have to pay close attention to this Eldridge Charles matter. I will be paying close attention to this Eldridge Charles matter because you see, justice cannot be for some people, Tim, and that's my point. Justice cannot be for some people. Not because you're a minister of government, you must have certain preferential treatment when it comes to justice. It cannot be right. And I'm saying when that court date is called, that court hearing, we all right-thinking St. Lucians have to show up at the courthouse and give Miss Charles her support. Because it takes a lot, a mammoth task, to take on a sitting government minister. It takes courage. And I want to applaud her for taking that courage, that bold step in standing up for what's right and in standing up for her rights. Have a good day, Tim.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if we go through some of your WhatsApp messages. We have lots of them to go through, and then we'll be back with some of your calls. Somebody says that the SLP refuses to accept RF's application for membership, which has been 2 years waiting, but turns out and asks St. Lucians to vote for him. Shaking my head. That is according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, do you think Dr. Anthony will violate his principles and be seen on the same platform with Richard Frederick at Danny Butcher's launching on Sunday? I ask the question bearing in mind that Danny Butcher is Dr. Anthony's protege and Richard Frederick his nemesis. And let's see if we have again let's see if we could go to a call right now. Hello, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, and good afternoon to Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I saw, I realized I was like the hot button issue yesterday. This is Francis Edmonds.
Oh, Mr. Edmonds, congratulations on your the presentation you did via Facebook, calling on the young people, the young men, in fact, to put down the guns.
Yes, Tim, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you also getting a little snippet out of it out there, so some persons who had not seen it on Facebook could listen, and those who saw. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate that, and surprisingly, Tim, I never expected it's already surpassed 100,000 views on Facebook.
Wow.
After posting it on Friday. I know some persons were calling out for me to be the Minister for Crime Prevention.
Yes,
that's what I saw.
I saw a few suggestions, yes.
Tim, I would gladly take that up, Tim.
Why would you? Considering everything that is happening now and all the criticism that's being leveled at the current holder of that office, why would you want to be the minister with responsibility for national security or crime prevention?
Okay, let me just say, maybe not crime prevention, because we cannot prevent crime in a lot of ways. Some certain things we could prevent, but I mean, watching it from a holistic standpoint, we cannot prevent crime.
Yeah.
Right. But Tim, if we look at what's happening in the country, a lot of the times those guys who go to school and have the degrees, people vote for them and they do not get the job done. So the layman like myself that would be on the street or out there, that could probably reach a lot of people, persons might not want to vote for somebody like me to be a minister of national security or an MP, right? But we like to look at those guys in their suits, and they go to school, they attain their degrees and so on, right? And think that they're going to come out there and do a good job. And in some instances, they do have a good intention to start off. But I don't know, for whatever reason, when they get in there, I don't know if it is the accessibility to money and seeing how easy it is to, flip money here and flip money here, they just lose their way, as they go along. But I believe I confidently can do a better job than our current national security minister. I believe so, because it's not about sitting in your office like a couple callers have called, I think, from sometime last week. There's this gentleman, Malcolm, who called. It's not about sitting in your offices and thinking that you could make a change, you could make a difference. It's about getting out there on the streets, getting out there on the streets. And I was very happy to hear this gentleman's voice, because I remember this man working in the Dennery police station. And all you had to hear was his name. That's all. As long as you heard the name, you had to check yourself, But I also want to say that I did serve the Dennery Minibus Association on 2 consecutive terms as the president. I am no longer the president. I had to, step out of office due to circumstances beyond my control. But I do hold the association at heart, and I'm always wishing for their success. But I'm hoping, Tim, that our persons out there, especially, I did post a video, a second video pertaining to persons who are out there with persons who have I'll say that again.
What, illegal firearms and ammunition?
No. Persons who have influence.
Yeah.
Persons who have influence to come out and talk to him, because a lot of times we like to leave things for the politicians to do. And we already see, year after year, we see the same things happening. The politicians come, they just talk. Some of them don't talk at all. And there are persons out there in the communities who have influenced him. And I specifically touched on coaches, persons who coach football, basketball, different disciplines, track and field, and so on, to really use the opportunities to speak to young people, as much as possible, to help them change their lives around or help them, stay on the right path. And the priests out there, the pastors, right now, persons are there like opportunists. If they don't get to be a pastor or a teacher, it's like they're just going where the money is, not necessarily to really serve people and see people do well. And we need more persons out there who want to see people do well, and that's how our country can move forward, Tim.
Okay, caller.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, and all the best to you. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call on the landline. Let's go to the landline. Hello and good afternoon to you. You're on the air. Hello. Okay, we've lost that call. Let's see if it goes through a WhatsApp message. Please bear with me while we try to go through some of your messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, politics just is crazy. Is it true that Stanley Felix will be contesting as an independent in Castries Central? Well, let me answer. I don't know. I've not been able to confirm. So let us treat this as speculation, as rumor, as UD. The person continues, it seems like APA got silent. V4 waiting for independence after joining with after you join like King and RF. That is a WhatsApp message. Some more of your messages. Somebody says, I'm not surprised that Lisa was at the cabinet press briefing because the Prime Minister has facilitated St. Lucia to become a lawless country. Just look at who. Okay, we'll not continue with that one. All right, so let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says that Tim, at the CPL matches at the Darren Sammy Stadium, could not believe that more than half of the seats in the Grocery stand were broken and unscrewed. So I want to ask Baby, what did he fix and what did he replace at the stadium? So as a taxpayer, I want to tell him or tell us how he spent the money. St. Lucians want to see the invoice, or else we, the people of Grocery, will be voting him out. And another WhatsApp message. It says they have been out of Ireland for a while and visited Castries Central on Monday. After going through the traffic of the city, I asked myself, why is the Hall of Justice being constructed at the present location? The person who made that decision is really thinking backwards. Imagine a high-profile case in the city center. How many streets in the city center will have to be blocked off for security reasons? Can you imagine a traffic chaos? We are no more living in the 60s and 70s, shaking my head. A call on the line. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm in there.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, caller.
Can you speak directly into the phone, please? We could hardly hear you.
You hear me now?
Are you speaking directly into the phone?
Yes.
I could barely hear you. But anyway, continue.
Hear
Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that call. Please, when you call this, speak directly into the phone, caller. All right? We were not hearing you at all. Okay, somebody says that, Tim, your last caller was on point. He endorsed what APA said a few months ago. APA said that Danny Butcher is a continuation of Kenny Anthony, and Kenny is the puppet master pulling the strings to control Butcher. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, I'm using your platform to reach out to your listeners to confirm whether reports are accurate that a female driver was robbed of her vehicle in Castries. From what I've been told, the incident involved a Honda Civic that was left idling, and the driver was forced out of the vehicle by the perpetrators. I'm seeking confirmation because my sister also owns a Honda Civic and mentioned that she was commuting into town today. Since hearing the news, I've been unable to reach her, and I'm very concerned. Any confirmation or clarification from your listeners would be greatly appreciated. So here's hoping we get that clarification that is being sought on behalf of that individual. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, questions being asked regarding the level of trust that the people of Babonneau can put in the SLP's candidate, Mr. John Estefan.
Everybody! You asked and we listened. If you missed it, we're bringing back the Quartz Mega 3-hour flash sale this Thursday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only. Enjoy a massive 40% off store-wide on credit purchases and 15% off on cash purchases. 3 hours, one chance, huge savings you can't afford to miss. This Thursday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. sharp. Terms and conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow, hein. Si t'en l'en pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Prendre pompe yo c'est Léo. Pompe ça c'est major. Ils bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glo ka fante. Europa ni pompe glo Léo en de couleur neuf, orange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
Yes, yeah. Don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Boutte. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
Compagnie Kouan Lucilec a informé public là qui commençait mercredi 17 juillet, samedi 28 septembre l'année ici. Lucilec a une dernière phase campagne replacement mita. Ça c'est un pas en commitment compagnie Lucilec pour poursuivre bon qualité service qui sort avec reliable. C'est mita neuf là qui fait assurer courant qui servit miséré douette sans les et compagnie Lucilec délivrer un service qui à niveau standard qui haut. Pratique qui mita qui mérite replacer qui recevrait avertissement notice par moins qui 48 net temps et bien 2 jours d'avance. Et joie pour faire travail là, un technicien qui habillé en uniforme Lucilec qui présenté carte d'identité et replacer mita qui estimé qui durer moins qui 30 minutes. Et pour faire assurer tout le bagage marche bien, Lucilec a encouragé les pratiques pour faire à l'aise pour y côté mita. Département service pratique Lucilec qui répond n'importe question et bien adressé concerne à sous replacement sémita. Adressé concerne nous pour département service pratique Lucilec à numéro téléphone 457 4440 et bien section mita à numéro téléphone 457 4607. Lucilec a remercié pratique pour coopération. La copoine export durant tant travail là qu'a continué.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real Men, check up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, it can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I face colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men. Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Questions are being posed to Government Minister Mr. Joachim Henry regarding what is next for him. That is because he has been replaced, he has been booted as the St. Lucia Labour Party candidate for Castries South East, replaced with Lisa Jawarier. So the question is posed, what is next for Joachim Henry?
That's an interesting question. What next for me? I'm a quantity surveyor, and I belong to the Institute of Surveyors, and I had a very successful career as a quantity surveyor, and there's a lot of work to do in the built environment. I also have a grandson, and there's a lot to be done, and I'll continue to serve the government of St. Lucia in ways that I can, and the constituency. You need as many hands as possible to work in a country. So I'll join you. There's a lot of beautiful things to be done. So rest assured, I will be occupied.
MP for Castries South East, Mr. Joachim Henry, and in the upcoming general election, Lisa Jawarier is the candidate of the St. Lucia Labour Party for that constituency. In just a moment, somebody says, let's look at the trust issue regarding Mr. John Estefan, who is the SLP candidate for Babonneau. But first, a few comments from you, Amanda, regarding what's happening in the chat room.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. NewsSpinner says, Tim, we are in a bad place in this country and we must stand up against the hijacking of the public service, and even at a government's press briefing where the government has to account to the electorate about the affairs of the state, but instead it belongs to the SLP and they can use it at the expense of the state to launch Lisa Jawarier as the candidate, as they continue to use and corrupt the system to protect the victory. I hope the St. Lucian voters are seeing that and will take the appropriate action at the polls. I also want to take this opportunity to ask our supporters to come out in large numbers at the Castries East Live on Sunday, where they will get to hear some of the plans for the constituency as we intend to re-engineer and transform the constituency. A commentary reads, Tim, this Labour government, just they're doing their own thing and they should not be questioned. A NewsSpinner says, great clip, Tim, because the Labour hacks clipped it to suit their narrative. A commentary reads, perversion of justice, that's all the move is. Someone says, Butcher needs to come again. How can you, a new political hopeful, fix your mouth and say you do not have to campaign in VA4? Are you claiming VA4sians are not worthy of your time and presence? Should we not know why we VA4sians should give you our vote? Are you claiming we should vote for you based on SLP's track record in VA4? A commentary reads, we in St. Lucia are cowards. That case will be thrown out and we all will keep quiet, just as we have done on so many other issues in St. Lucia. NewsSpinner says, I really want to know for true if Kenny Anthony will sit on the platform with Richard Frederick on Sunday. Our commentary reads, it's time for VA4 to be built and become the new capital city. Our commentary reads, Kenny is Butcher's mentor, therefore there will be no progress, nothing will change, same old, mem bets, mem puel, epi that's it. A few comments here on YouTube. It reads, Mr. Joseph St. Lucia is a country that believes in voodoo, so there is nothing new in what you are saying. Another comment via YouTube, it reads, some people feel comforted by the things they believe. Do not take that away from them. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Your final update regarding comments in the chat room of the Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, I'm not surprised that people are now losing their cars in that manner. Many times I drive into parking lots and notice vehicles idling and no driver in the front seat. Sometimes with keys in the ignition and children in the back seat. Sometimes I meet the drivers running back and I say to them that it's dangerous what they are doing. St. Lucians generally love taking chances, and you can safely say that they do not care. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, to some people, the SLP is the only party in St. Lucia. They have all the say. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want. But do you, UWP, feel like outsiders? Let's hear now from Mr. Titus Sprayville, the United Workers' Party candidate for Babonneau, speaking about the SLP's John Estefan.
Government in our democratic processes is really based on a system of trust. All right. The foundation of our democracy is on trust. And therefore, it is critical that anyone who puts himself or herself forward for political representation of people must be anchored in trust. Now, the difficulty that I believe the people of Babonneau have had over the new person, my opponent, is not so much the fact that he was a financial member of our branch and a member of the United Workers' Party, or that he decided to join the Labour Party. That people change their minds in life, and he has the right to change. He had in fact correctly applied for the opportunity to be the United Workers' Party candidate. And it would have been the two of us. And I recall very clearly when his letter was read, I was in Barbados at the time, and I called him and I said to him, well, if you are the person that the branch choose to be the candidate, I will give you my full support. That's how I understand we do these things. But the branch decided to choose me, and he in June of this year
did not reciprocate.
Well, well, in June this year, we saw that he had removed himself from the party. He removed himself officially, and he became, in the process, in the space of a short period of time, he replaced the current parliamentary rep as the candidate. And what really caught the attention of many people was perhaps what he said 2 Tuesdays or so ago, when he made his maiden speech. And you see, the gentleman in question, my opponent from Babonneau, was actually being taken around the community by prominent members of our branch and our party, because they had trust in him. They saw him as a trustworthy person, a genuine person. And they were taking him around, introducing him to the community as a possible United Workers' Party representative. And he having moved across, I thought that I'm sure would have caused a bit of consternation. But what I believe has caused the greatest consternation is his declaration. When he declared that for over 20 years, he has been longing to say Mamai Labour. And that from 1987, he was in fact a core Labour person. And I reflected on that, and people have called me, many people have called me to say, but they don't understand. They say they don't understand because they said, but isn't that the same person who was telling us that they wanted to represent the United Workers' Party. So the question is, if you, at the time, you were presenting yourself, you really, in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, you were really Labour Party, why did you present yourself as a United Party hopeful, Workers' Party hopeful? Why would you misrepresent your own self before the people? And now you want to look at these very people in their eyes and say to them, guess what? I want you to trust me. But I am really not who you see. You know, this is not good. This is not good for our politics as a country. It is not good. I hold no animosity to the gentleman, and we are just competitors. But it does not look good for the Labour Party.
Speaking on the program like it is, hosted by Leonard Spider Montoot on Hot TV. We just heard there from the United Workers' Party candidate for Barbados in the upcoming general election. That is Mr. Titus Previll. Listen our attention now to our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, why should anyone vote for Marcellus Backsteed to become the MP for Castries North? Why should anyone vote for Marcellus Backsteed to become the MP for Castries North? And you have been commenting on the NewsSpin Facebook page. You just log on and provide us with more of your reaction. And now, the NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, in Trinidad, Jack Warner walks free. High Court ends extradition battle. In Trinidad, Jack Warner walks free. High Court ends extradition battle. That's the broadcast. Before we conclude, apologize to many of you who called the landline and we can't take all your calls, who called the WhatsApp line, we can't take all your WhatsApp calls, and we can't go through all your WhatsApp messages and all the comments in the chat room, either on Facebook or the YouTube channel. We are just trying to manage the program as best as possible. We are overwhelmed, so my apologies if you are disappointed that you did not get an opportunity to either put your views across via WhatsApp messages, your discussions in the various chat rooms, or your calls. My apologies to you once again. Don't forget, by the way, to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Join me this evening, 7 o'clock, for the DBS News World and 8:30 Newsmaker Live. Goodbye.